Cultures across the world have left behind extensive evidence in ancient texts, monuments, and megalithic structures, explaining that long ago, advanced civilizations once existed on the Earth that were eventually destroyed by devastating global cataclysms. These lost civilizations understood the secrets of energy, consciousness, mathematics, and even the nature of reality itself. Across the Earth, ancient ruins and megalithic structures, such as Sacsayhuaman in Peru, the Temple of Jupiter in Lebanon, or Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, have been proven to be far older than what our modern history books are willing to admit. The incredible megalithic site of Göbekli Tepe, located in the southeastern Anatolia region of Turkey, has been radiocarbon dated to be over 11,000 years old. Meanwhile, further to the west in Baalbek, Lebanon, the ancient city of Heliopolis and the Temple of Jupiter contain enormous stone blocks that are in excess of 1,000 tons each. Yet at the same time, most mainstream experts will tell you that these megalithic sites were built less than 5,000 years ago by the Romans, or some nomadic hunter-gatherer group using nothing more than Bronze Age tools. This evidence greatly contradicts what society has been taught about the timeline of human history and helps to paint a far different picture of our past. The most important question is, why isn't this information part of our education system? For far too long, society has based their understanding of the events of the past and present upon a small number of experts in their field, and rarely choose to question or seek alternative theories. This conclusion may be hard for some to accept, but the fact is plain and simple. We've been lied to for a very long time. The truth is far more fascinating to learn about than the biased and mundane version we've been given. So now you may be wondering, what exactly have we been lied to about? One of the most significant of these deceptions revolves around the incorrect information that's been provided by many of the mainstream archaeologists about the true age and purpose of the pyramids of Giza, Egypt. We're told by many of these experts that the largest structures on Earth were built to honor the great pharaohs of Egypt. This lie is generally accepted by the majority of society, who is often too busy to take the time to research alternative theories for themselves. Yet today, not one pharaoh has ever been found in the pyramids of Giza, or in most of the other pyramids located around the world. The objective researcher quickly discovers that the Egyptian pharaohs were buried more than 400 miles to the south, in a place called the Valley of the Kings. Famous pharaohs throughout history, such as Ramses or Tutankhamun, were mummified and buried at the Valley of the Kings, surrounded by generations of older dynastic Egyptian rulers. So why have they deceived society about the truth and purpose of these pyramids? The answer to that question can be found by understanding the level of control that exists regarding the perception of history, which is fiercely guarded by powerful individuals and secret societies, who hide the true age and sophistication of many of these ancient civilizations. That means that even today, with all the modern technology that we have available to us, we would still have trouble constructing the pyramids of Egypt. The design and alignments of these pyramids suggest that these ancient builders knew detailed information about both mathematics and the constellations of our galaxy. These spectacular achievements in engineering were only made possible because of a specific understanding of the precise ratio of the Earth, as well as the ley lines of energy that cross the planet. But how could they have known that more than 10,000 years ago? Evidence shows that the true purpose behind this intuitive design was to create a large structure that could focus and harness unlimited electromagnetic energy, as well as to act as a type of harmonic resonator to raise human consciousness. The real question is, what could they have needed all this energy for thousands of years ago? To me, the obvious answer to that question suggests that these ancient civilizations were much more advanced than our history books are willing to admit. Not only are the pyramids of Giza far older than what we've been told, but the dynastic pharaohs of Egypt were also incorrectly given credit for their creation. Evidence shows that these magnificent and precise structures were built by a lost civilization who disappeared from Earth's history during the last ice age. When looking at the positions of the constellations of Orion, Leo, and Canis Major 10,500 to 12,000 years ago, in accounting for the precessional changes that occur to the Earth, it can be fascinating to learn that both the Great Pyramid and Sphinx perfectly align to these star constellations during that time period. For those who don't know, axial precession is caused by the slight wobbling of an astronomical body, which causes its orientation to change over time. This creates what is known as the precession of the equinoxes, or zodiac ages, which represents a cycle of approximately 25,700 years. This dating evidence also correlates strikingly well with the water erosion marks that have been found along the edges of the Sphinx enclosure, which strongly suggests that the true age of these structures is far older than what we've been told, based on the historical rainfall patterns for the region. The Egyptians realized the importance of transcending the physical world in order to progress along the path of enlightenment. They called this veil of the third dimension Ka, which represents the soul trapped in the physical body that's constantly blinded by illusions and deception. That's why transcending the physical world and breaking free of the chains of Ka is so guarded here, due in part to the law of free will and the predation of basic human urges. The human brain functions as a powerful organic computer, and like all computers, it can become infected with viruses that come in the form of polluting thoughts and negative associations. Those negative or false associations can build up over time within us and greatly affect the growth of consciousness. The challenge becomes how to heal and cleanse the mind and body to free it from the bondage of its accumulated burdens. To me, the great feat to accomplish in this life should not merely revolve around scaling the highest mountain or deepest canyon, but rather exploring the wonders and secrets within the human mind. I often compare the process of an individual expanding their conscious awareness to the analogy of a dark forest that they must traverse. This dark forest contains many different pathways, each of them promising an easy way out of the darkness. Those who follow these easy paths often find out too late that they've been tricked and misled for not taking the more challenging route. Instead of an easy road to ascension, the path to reach higher states of consciousness and energy has been purposely made difficult, and any shortcuts taken are severely punished along the way. The real question is, who created this system? If this information was released to the public, it would not only change our understanding of consciousness and energy, but alter the entire way we view human history. Cuneiform tablets from Mesopotamia, along with ice core samples from Greenland and geologic evidence from across the world, strongly suggest that a series of devastating cataclysms occurred on the Earth between 10,500 and 12,800 years ago, leading to rapid melting of the ice caps, global floods, and destructive climate changes. These cataclysms were likely caused by a large solar outburst from the sun, or possibly a comet strike, which wiped out many of the ancient civilizations that were present on the planet, causing their existence and memory to become nearly lost to time. A great deal of their knowledge and advanced technology was destroyed in these cataclysms. However, some of the megalithic structures and pyramids they built still remain today. According to the famous philosopher Plato, a sophisticated civilization called Atlantis once existed somewhere southwest of the Straits of Gibraltar in Western Africa, on a string of circular islands that formed a large central landmass. These writings, known as the Timaeus and Critias, state that Atlantis was destroyed by a series of violent catastrophes that were so severe that little remained of it afterward. This information provided by Plato, describing these cataclysms that occurred at the end of the last ice age, correlates strikingly well with Mesopotamian cuneiform tablets, ancient stories, biblical writings, and ice core data from Greenland, all of which provides a glimpse into what occurred long ago. These disasters led to the destruction of many of the pre-Diluvian civilizations that once thrived on the planet. Yet little about this information is ever discussed on an academic level, and is still largely considered pseudo-archaeology by most mainstream experts. It's important to develop an understanding of how to objectively view facts and information accurately to develop logical conclusions. This is a necessary step for any good researcher to take who's searching for the truth. The famous detective Arthur Conan Doyle, gave a profound quote that should act as the means for building this foundation of reason. He said, "Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth." Let those words resonate deep within you, and decide for yourself what's real and what's simply a clever distraction from the truth.